Hello Magic fans, I'm Beef and welcome back to another Historic Brawl gameplay video, this time featuring the Necrobloom. A Necrobloom is a 4-mana commander in Abzan for 1 generic white, black and green. It's 2/7, so it's got a pretty big butt on it, and it has landfall. Whenever a land ETBs under your control, create a 0/1 green plant creature token. But if you control 7 or more lands with different names, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token instead, and land cards in your graveyard have Dredge 2. So yes, it is Field of the Dead on a stick. Field of the Dead is famously so powerful it has been banned in Brawl, so I decided to whack it on a 2/7 creature instead with additional upside. Creating those 0/1 green plant creature tokens is great because it's just extra blockers and extra bodies, and land cards in your graveyard having Dredge 2, what that means is anytime you draw a card, including obviously the start of your turn, and if you draw from clue tokens, instead you can mill 2, in this case that's what Dredge 2 means, to return one of those land cards to your hand. So if you need to hit a land drop, you can mill 2 cards and get it back from your graveyard. So the name of the game is obviously land drops. We want to go up to 7 lands as quickly as possible and then get as many lands on the battlefield so we create a ton of zombies and just overpower our opponents. So as such, I've split the deck up into a number of piles. First pile is generic ramp, so Mana Dorks, as we know, Lotus Cobra, which is a landfall trigger, Arcane Signet, and I'm including Nissa in here as well, as it does add 1 mana of any colour when you have landfall. And then next is the ramp that adds lands to the battlefield. Things like a Boreal Grazer, Camia Bamboo Groves. Aftermath Analysis can get back lands from your graveyard. Bristly Bill is in the wrong column. Explore into the north. In the north can get a Snowland. Whitewater Reliquary can sack another creature, maybe the 0/1 tokens, to search your library for any land card, put on the battlefield tapped. Azusa lets you play additional lands, same with Dryad of Elysian Grove. Harrow, you can sack a land and then search for 2 basic lands. You can do it instant speed as well. Wayward Sawtooth increases the amount of lands you can play a turn. Flare of Cultivation is just cultivation, but you can sacrifice a non-token green creature instead of paying its mana cost. Oracle of Moldire lets you play additional lands, also from the top of the library. Case of a Lot Hot House, you can play additional lands, and then if you solve it, you can play lands and cast creature spells and enchantment spells on top of your library. Primeval Titan, everyone knows, ETBs are attacked, search the lands to the library for any 2 lands, and then Titania's Command. We choose the search your library for up to 2 lands, and then probably put the +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. Next up, we have landfall triggers. Bristly Bill puts a counter on target creature, and then you can pay 5 to double the amount of counters. Spring Heart and Nantuko is a very powerful new card. You can either comes down as a 1/1 creature, or you can bestow it, which means you cast it as an enchantment aura on a creature you control. If that creature then dies, the Nantuko comes back as a creature. But it's landfall. When a land ETBs under your control, you may pay 1 and a green. If it's attached to a creature, if you do, create a token that's a copy of that creature. If you didn't create a token, create a 1/1 green insect creature token. So if it's just on battlefield by itself, whenever you play a landfall, you get a green insect token, which is really great. But if you don't, if it's attached to a creature, you can pay that 1 and a green to copy it. In one of the games we played, I had it on a copy of Wayward Sawtooth and just created like 4 of them, which not only increases the number of lands you can play a turn, but you end up having like 4 or 5 5s on. Scroot Swarm, everyone knows. When a land ETBs, you create a 1/1 insect creature token. But if you control 6 or more lands, you create a copy of Scroot Swarm. So the amount of tokens you get just exponentially increases. Task Provision, Task Tracker, get a clue or a food or a treasure, depending on the card. Course Crucifix lets you play lands on top of a library, but also you gain a life whenever land ETBs. Faradar Retreat, you can either create a 2/2 Whitecap Beast or put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control and give them vigilance. That's the one we choose. Guardian Project, that's not a landfall, that's in the wrong pile. Scape Shift, not really a landfall trigger, but a landfall enabler. You can sacrifice any number of lands, search the library for that many land cards, put on the battlefield tapped. So once you've got a Necrobloom down, if you've got 7 or 8 lands, you can sack all your lands, get 8 more lands, and because they enter at the same time, the Necrobloom will see it as in saying you've got 8 lands and 8 triggers of 8 lands. Elish Norn doubles up all your ETB triggers and cancels your opponent's ETB triggers. And Ancient Green Warden may play lands from your graveyard, but it also doubles up your landfall triggers. And then we've got Ramming Up Excavator, Crucible of Worlds, Conduit of Worlds. You can play lands from your graveyard. Conduit of Worlds means you can also play a non-land permanent card from your graveyard, but only if you've not cast a spell this turn and you can't cast any more spells. So if your opponent takes out, say, Elish Norn, and you only have lands, you can get it back. And finally, we just have the rest of the good stuff and some removal. Swords of Plowshares, Fatal Push. Malika Rebirth is a land, but of course will be used to save a creature. Reanimate, just get a creature back from a graveyard. Intangible Virtue is really powerful in this deck because we're going to have a lot of creature tokens in either the 0/1 plants or the 2/2 zombies. So buffing them all and giving them vigilance is really powerful. Augur of Autumn lets us just play lands and then potentially creatures from the top of a library. Guardian Project, we don't have, we're obviously not a massive creature-based deck, but we've got enough creatures. If we can get this down, we'll just draw a card whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield. And there was one game where, unfortunately, our opponent scooped before we could do it. We had loads of cards in the graveyard. We were going to Eerie Ultimatum, which gets back any number of permanent cards with different names from graveyard to the battlefield. We would have drawn like 9 cards or something, but they scooped. Binding the Old Gods, removal, and ramp. Ren can put a massive creature onto the battlefield, put lands in our graveyards and into our hand. And if we get it up to 8, we can minus it to an all permanent cards from our graveyard to our hand. Morara's Wake, just incredibly powerful, one of my favourite cards of all time. Essentially doubles our mana from lands and buffs our creatures. Casualty of Wars is just mean. Destroy one or more artifact, creature, enchantment, land or planeswalker. So ideally you want to wait until this gets as much value as possible. Jamil, just super powerful cards. Means our cards can't be countered. And then at the beginning of end step discover 5, so we can hit a lot of cards in our library. Said Eerie Ultimatum, return any number of target permanent cards with different names from your graves on the battlefield. And then we have Moonshadow Cavalry and Crater Hooper Behemoth, which are very similar cards. Moonshadow Cavalry gives all your creatures XX and flying, where X number of creature control. Crater Hooper Behemoth does the same, but it's +X and trample. And it has haste itself, so it can crack in. For land base, as you can imagine, as many lands as we can with different names, which is why we have some snow-covered lands. 1 to fetch with Into the North, and 2, snow-covered plains, and a plains is a land with a different name to maximise the amount of lands we can have for the Necrobloom. And that's pretty much it. It's a very powerful deck and a very fun deck. I hope you all enjoy it. If you do, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the gameplay. Well, we can get the Grazer down, get Shattered Sanctum down. We need to draw some more impactful things, but we were not too far away from getting down the Necrobloom. Get Temple Gardens. I'll just get down our Fatal Passage now. Probably should have done that. It comes in tap, so I couldn't sacrifice it. But that's fine. We don't necessarily need it now. So we've got all our colours. We've got 2 whites and that. I will get a snow-covered swamp. They foretold something which I'm guessing is a... saw it coming? Put it down on green. I'm going to hold off the Necrobloom. No, let's... Well, I imagine it dies. They might have foretold Poison the Cup. Or maybe it's Behold the Multiverse. Yeah, there we go. Made cheaper due to Brawl. Next turn we can Overgrown Tomb. And Morara's Wake. Yeah. So next turn we can get down the Necrobloom. They're auto tapping, which suggests they have a wash away. Or they have a cheap negate. Indecision. Let me bestow the Nantuko on to the Grazer and see what they do. I'm glad they countered that. Then I can get down the Green Warden, play out my Fabled Passage. This was a mistake, but I obviously do it again next turn. I won't play the Cami. And we can keep up the Rebirth if they try to take out our Green Warden. The Brawl is annoying because obviously it reduces the cost of all their counter spells. But now we can start going off. We're going to be creating 2 3/3 zombies with every land drop. And obviously we had a fetch land we could crack. And then we still probably had mana up for Casualties of War. So a really good result. So we've got a bit of ramp, and Sawtooth lets us play additional lands. And obviously Escape Shift is really good once we get enough. But we're against a dinosaur deck, so it's going to be... might end up getting run over a bit. But we'll play the Sunpetal Grove turn 1, Swamp turn 2, I think. And maybe we try and save the Vista for until when we have the Necrobloom on the battlefield. My opponent's thinking about something. Seven toughness will be hard for red burn spells to get through, but obviously they might have some fight spells and things like Swords of Plowshares. They've gone down to... I know they have kept 7. Those sleeves makes it really hard to see the amount of cards they have in a hand. There's ones that are hidden. So they're ramping themselves. If they have an additional land. They do. So next turn we can get down the Necrobloom. And if it survives, we can get down the Sawtooth and kind of empty our hand a bit. Yes, all our spells can't be countered now. Or their spell, sorry. Oh, you just hit a Lotus Cobra. So we'll play out the Sawtooth. And play out our fetches. Let's get Micro Forest. Our Sawtooth can now attack and defend. Oh, I should have played out the Nantuko first. So let's get a Surveil land. And then I'll hold up the Bestow until our next turn. I might bestow onto the way the Sawtooth so we can copy it. Glide half in isn't that bad. So they've got a ball, but we have quite a lot of blockers. I think I will mill. Right, let's bestow onto the Sawtooth. We will pay this. And we'll get Forest. So that was a pretty good turn. And next turn we could scape shift for 8. I won't dredge. A Moonshaker Cavalry or Crater Hoof Behemoth would obviously be game over. Tangible Virtue would be good as well. Mirari's Wake. Wolfwiller Haven, again, not the worst thing for them to hit from our point of view. They have no mana up. So I'm very confused. They have no mana. I will draw. Ren's pretty good. Yeah, I'm not like they created a 9/9, but that's not the end of the world. We could have scape shifted then for 8 and created a ton of zombies, or cast Ren, create a big token of our own, and gone on from there. Up against Shadowfang, so a tokens deck kind of similar to Az. Well, this is very good ramp. And then we can get up Mirari's Wake. Hopefully we draw into things that allow us to play additional lands. We'll shock in a Temple Garden. And then we'll put in the Arctic Tree Line. Next turn we can land on White Elves. Next turn we can play Mirari's Wake. Assuming our land of White Elves survives. We'll get a Surveil land, or do we just get the Triome? Let's just get the Triome. Well, there's a Surveil land. Third hour retreat's good. So we have 11 mana. We can Necrobloom, then Titan. Yes, I will. We will get... Where's our Surveil lands? Well, we'll get actually some fetch lands. If I can find the blooming things. So next turn we can obviously crack both of those, get 2 more triggers, attack him with a Titan. We'll play the retreat first, basically buff our entire board. They might take out the Titan. If I was them, I would. Yeah, we'll play out the retreat, crack our fetches, smack him with probably everything. And maybe get some Surveil lands. They do have 3 mana. They could get a Fatal Push. But even without the Titan, getting down the tree, cracking 2 fetches, putting tokens on our entire board, +1/+1 counter, sorry, on our entire board. I think I'm happy drawing. Well, we hit a land anyway. They have 1 mana. Right. Our board is about to get large. Don't need that. We can always dredge it back if we want it. Don't we have any other things we can crack? I'm going to swing in with everything. Everything's got vigilant as well. And we get 2 more land triggers. So we will get a snow-covered plains. And let's get another Surveyor land. If I can find one. Sure, why not? Probably should have cracked my created a token with Mirek, so it got all my got all the counters. But that's what 13, 21, 33, 41, 49 points of damage on the board. They must have a board wipe. Probably what they fetch with the intent. But if it's a board wipe, we can create a token with the Mirex and we play a Necrobloom. Or we can just... Well, no, we can't because our Necrobloom will be dead. But, oh, so it wasn't a board wipe. I don't think they've got enough blockers. They still do have 3 mana. Yeah, I'm not sure what they thought they could do. Said if they didn't fetch a board wipe with the diabolic intent, I'm not sure why. It would have set us back, and obviously set them back, I think, a lot more. But I think we still would have got there with Mirari's Wake doubling our mana, and we had 10 land anyway, so we had 20 mana available, so we could have easily recast the Necrobloom. Well, we're on the play, and Dryad of Elysian Grove lets us play additional lands. No immediate ramp. Into the north is better. You can play this tapped. So Riku's a modal commander. We do have swords which can take it out. And we will get... what colours do we have? We have everything so far. We generally need more green. Always suspicious when that happens. Well, if they have a counter spell, We have run out of steam a bit. So they ramped. Hitting a fetch land would be good. That way the excavator allows someone in a graveyard to get back. And obviously with 46 lands, it's not quite what I was hoping to see. I would quite like to draw. Don't think we need the Cobra. But I will pull out the Grazier. We don't have anything in hand to get down, but it is a blocker. So next turn we can get down the excavator. Hopefully draw another land. Wonder what they've got. Oh, they kill the Grazer. Let's go have a Necrobloom. Let's attack. We will sacrifice a little token. And we will surveil again. That's what we want. Have they got something else? Fading Oak maybe? Okay, they kill our Grazer. It's not the end of the world. I want to draw. So I'm going to get down the excavator. Play out the Folly Strand. Predator Zombie. Crack it. Get a... Godless Shrine. Try another zombie. Realise I am doing this badly. Let's take out Riku now while their defences are down. Yes, I think they saw the writing on the wall. We could have attacked in with Thaloon and get the Rob Monster again, sacrifice the plant, drawn, see what we hit. And obviously at that point we had 3 zombies. We're going to get another one with by cracking this Folly Strand, and then we can just play the same fetch land out of our graveyard. Should have played Bristly Built earlier, and then Spring Heart Nantuko, so we can start getting value from those land drops as well. Up against a Tarrasque, I don't think I've ever seen the Tarrasque played ever, let alone as a commander. So this will be interesting. We're on the draw, but we've got some ramp and ways to get through our deck, and obviously Elishnorn's great. So it's mono green as well, so shouldn't be that much removal. But I think he has what, wall 10? Yeah. As long as it was cast, which as command it will be. We'll play the Scattered Groves, then Misty Rainforest into the north. And hopefully a turn 3 Necrobloom. Well, actually now we want to play turn 1 Pilgrim. So we find Temple Garden. And then we can play Scatter Groves and then still into the north. They ramp themselves. We will get an Woodland Chasm because we don't have any black money yet. And then we can get the Necrobloom down and hold up swords. And after that we can get Elish Norn down and hopefully draw more lands. We've got enough of them. Although we could Conduit of Worlds, obviously, to get so let me get down Necrobloom. And let's get down a forest, make a token. So next turn I can Elish Norn. And then the turn after that, it's actually not far away from playing the Tarask. Or maybe I'll play Conduit of Worlds and start fetching lands back. We need a way to play additional lands. So they can do it next turn. I will draw. I'm doing this just so we might be able to get, well, mold, Oracle of Mold Dyer's good. I'm concerned now though that they're gonna Tarask and smash into us. They've managed to ramp a lot more impressively than I thought they would. And we had quite a slow start for us. Oh, so they're not playing out. They're not playing out their commander. I would like the Oracle. So you still have a lot of mana. I still have 5 mana. But it is in green, so I won't have a counter spell. Then might have an instant speed fight spell. Whatever it is, they're taking their time about it. So a Trask doesn't have trample. But obviously it has a fight when it attacks. Well, let's just fetch now. And we will just get Triome. So next turn we can get down probably depending on what's on top of our library, Elish Norn. But I imagine they're going to fight and Necrobloom with their Tarask. But obviously we have mana to recast it. Yep, there it is. Yep. Doesn't have trample, so I'm not that fast. Let's... Oh, obviously we can only play it from the top of our library. I'm going to hold off just with our zombies, just because... Oh, I was meant to hold off with our zombies. Because then we could have chomped the Tarask. What have they got? Guessing they fight our Necrobloom again? Yep. Things I've played Elish Norn, I just imagine they'll take it out. But we are going to be able to get a lot of zombie tokens onto the battlefield. Play out Necrobloom. Misty Rainforest. Misty Rainforest again. So now we can block for Tarask and kill it, although they'll be able to recast it. And let's... Oh, I was meant to get us a Battle Land. Cast this for free. Oh, a non-token green creature. Bye, Abzan's Pilgrim. We'll get a Swamp and a Plains. And also we can use Conduit of Worlds to get things back as well. So we have 8 zombies. Yeah, so if they attack with the Tarask, we can kill it. And they do. I'm doing this because next time we can get down Elish Norn and create a load of more. So let's Elish Norn. Let's Tireless Tracker. Get a ton of triggers. We have cast a spell, so unfortunately we can't Conduit of Worlds. But that was a pretty good turn. I do imagine they take out Elish Norn, but we can recast it with Conduit of Worlds. But we can also draw as well with our clue tokens. I might just take the 10 and kill the Titan. Let's see what they kill. Yep, Elish Norn. in case they have some shenanigans. So they can recast Storm Festival pretty easily. We might have lost this one unless we can hit Crater Hoof or Moonshaker Cavalry. They have their own Oracle. Whiff. Yeah, I think we're in a pretty bad spot. $29.29. Yeah, it's probably us done.
Making new friends.
Okay, there's the no point carrying on through that. They didn't, you know, they could have just attacked or waited a turn and attacked. Junji, so a mono black deck, so probably lots and lots of removal. Tangible Virtue's pretty good, but we have no other ramp and Flare Cultivation. Oh, we still got Intangible Virtue. I suppose this is what we are on the play. And we should better get Eerie Ultimatum. Tangible Virtue is good with the plant tokens. Let's hit our Scrylands. Sure, that's actually really good against Junji because Junji has a death trigger, not a exile trigger. No stick. It's always fun when you have 46 lands, you don't actually draw many of them. I'm not that fussed about Bitter Blossom. Maybe I should be. Next turn we can get down Intangible Virtue, which will buff our plants. I don't know if we draw another land. A fetch land would be really good. Or maybe something like Augur of Autumn or Oracle of Mild Dire to let us rip through the top of our deck. I hovered over our plant token. It's a 0-1. It's not that impressive. They're thinking about something. You know what? Let's dredge. We'll get down the Intangible Virtue. Could get back the Tireless Tracker. Is that really worth it? I think so. And we will get let's get a basic land so we can hold up a clue and swords. Don't quite into Eerie Ultimatum yet. Do they just Junji? No, they do not. That's annoying. What do we have? Because we can just Eerie Ultimatum next turn. Swamp Forest. Forest. We need 3 blacks. So 2 black, white, green, green, green. We need more black. I'm going to be a bit greedy. Obviously, if they Junji now, we can swords. But we don't have any artifact or creature cards. If they have another one and take Eerie Ultimatum, I am going to cry. Yeah, I will discard Swords of Plowshare. Let's find a surveil land, a black surveil land. We don't seem to have any of those. Yes, we do. We're going to get her back anyway. Basically everything from our graveyard. Yeah. Oh, I wanted to see it happen. We would have, every creature would have drawn us a new card with Guardian Project as well, which is why I put that down instead of firing off Eerie Ultimatum last turn. And they gave me a bit of a scare because I thought they would make us discard it, but they didn't, and you know, it caused them to scoop. We are on the play with a really good top end curve, but no ramp, so we have to mulligan it. Titania's Command's good, really good with Necrobloom, and obviously so is Elish Norn. We can turn to Bristly Bill. Turn 3 Provisioner, and obviously hopefully hit more lands. We do need white mana. Oh, there's the white mana. Tides Provisioner will help us ramp. Will be really good with Elish Norn and Titania's Command to fetch loads of lands. But I imagine Taste of Karlov's got a lot of removal. Oscillate Pride's a good card. I imagine they're doing it to create tokens to enable to like sack with Taste of Karlov. Wow. They've gone big. What I would like next turn is... Oh, we can't play Elish Norn next turn, can we? Well, we can with the treasure token. Well... Let's see if it survives. Obviously, it stopped all their ETBs as well, which they might not have many, them being an ET graveyard deck, ETG. Yeah. I expected that to happen. But at least I can Necrobloom. And then Windswept Leaf. And then if we get an untapped land, we can Harrow. Yeah. So we can harrow at instant speed. Sacking maybe the Llanowar wastes. There we go. And then next turn we can Titania's command. Definitely get another black source. Swamp and a forest. Play out the glade. Get some triggers. I was meant to play Titania's command before clicking through. Not fussed about their graveyard. Let us get some surveil lands. And a feral passage just so that we have a fetch land for next turn. See, they might have a board wipe. I don't think we need that. What we can do next turn is swing in and basically use Bristly Bill's ability 3 times maybe? And potentially get a one-hit kill. Well, they're at 24 now because of a bit of Blossom. Unless they have a sweeper, which well, Mindstone is not a sweeper. Obviously a Crater Hoof or a Moonshagger Cavalry will do the trick as well. I'm just going to swing in and double. No one's got Death Touch. Well, first of all, let's crack our fetch. We will get an untapped green source if we have any left. I think our opponent saw what was coming. Yeah, we had 9 plus 5. I don't know why I didn't play with the landscapes. Going to do it twice. So that would have put 2 more counters and then 4 more counters for 8. Yeah, so we had lethal quite easily. Hello Magic fans and welcome back to the wrap up. So we played 7 games with this deck and had a 85% win rate. We won 6 and lost 1. So really, really good. And the one deck we did lose against was the Tarrasque deck. I don't think I've ever seen anyone play the Tarrasque, let alone as a commander. But it's a mono green and we started quite slowly and just managed to go over the top of us really. While it costs 9, that's not particularly hard to get to in Commander. And if you cast it, which you do obviously in Brawl, because it's your Commander, you can't cheat it out, it gains haste and ward 10, and when it attacks it fights a creature. So it was just taking out our Necrobloom, which slowed us down considerably. But yeah, everything else, every other deck went really, really, every other game went really, really smoothly. It's a very powerful card, which is no surprising because Field of the Dead was banned. It was that powerful. It is not hard to get to 7 lands with different names. All our lands have different names. And with 47 land, you're never going to miss your land drop. And as soon as you start getting that, you know, you can play lands from your graveyard, or you can play 2 or 3 lands a turn. You're just getting back fetches. You're creating 3 or 4 zombies a turn. More if you have like Elish Norn out, or if you have other ways to hit multiple land drops like Primeval Titan or Titania's Command. It's just absolutely bonkers. I had a great time playing this deck. This is a very powerful deck. Hope you all enjoyed it too. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.